From years of anxiety to warrior and mentor, Bradley Robinson created the Anxiety Project to help you end your anxiety naturally. Let's mold the new you and let's end anxiety together.
Hello and welcome to the Anxiety Project podcast number 87. I am Brad Robinson, and today I'm talking about two powerful anxiety techniques for your recovery journey. These techniques are powerful because they target the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind makes up 90 to 95% of who you are, the mind and the body. That's where our past memories come from. That's where we store trauma. That's where our habits become automated. The unconscious mind. So it's important that you target the unconscious mind so that you can change your anxious identity into somebody like a warrior, a teacher, a mentor, someone powerful, someone in control, and who has lessened the chaos in their life. Recovery, this whole recovery journey that you're on or about to be on, is about setting an aim. What is your end goal? Anxiety sufferers are in chaos. They're in unknown territory. There are thousands of thoughts playing out in their minds, in their heads, and we get 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts. And anxiety sufferers tend to entertain those negative thoughts, and thus they keep them alive. And there's so much thoughts coming and going in their minds that it's overwhelming. They don't know what to do. They are in disorder. They need order, structure, so that they can lessen the disorder. Then, when you commit to recovery, you are met with resistance. You have been playing the victim, the anxious, the dependent person for a long time. It's been so long that when you begin to change, your unconscious says, whoa, wait a minute here. This isn't who you are. Let's go back to the old ways of thinking and behaving. That's why you see, people commit to the gym New Year's Day, but a week later, they stop going because they are met with that resistance. Their unconscious says, whoa, this isn't who you are. You're used to staying at home and not going to the gym. So now that you start going to the gym, it's hard to commit because your unconscious is like, let's go back to your old ways of being. You have to push through that resistance to get to the other side. The unconscious mind loves what's familiar, what's most familiar, even though what's familiar is the chaos you're in. You might hear from other people that they always seem to find or end up in bad relationships. Why can't I find the right guy? Why can't I find the right woman? Well, I believe that they are continuing to engage in poor relationships because that's been most familiar and consistent in their life. The unconscious mind wants to keep you in the state that has been most consistent. The anxious state has been most familiar and consistent, so when you begin to change, resistance occurs. It's important that you push through and continue to run the habits that will lead you to the ideal you, towards that aim. Your aim will be poor at first. You might hit that wall, hit that resistance, fall back, have a setback for the day, and you're learning. You're a fool at it. If I start to learn the violin, I'm going to be a fool at it. I'm not going to know anything. I'm not even know what the parts of the violin are called. I'm going to feel like, this will never work. But here's the thing. You have to push through that. You have to understand that you're a student now. You're learning. You got to learn the basics. You got to figure it out. You have an aim to be good at the violin or to overcome anxiety. But you have to become the student of yourself to overcome anxiety. You have to become the student of a violinist, right? So your aim will be poor. It's not going to be so great. It's going to suck. It's going to be bad. You're going to steer off the path a little bit. But you will not be in the same place as you were before. That's the good news. Even though you're going to be bad at it, you're not going to be the person you were yesterday. That person was in that state for maybe months, years even. But no more, because at least today you've moved forward somewhat towards that aim, even though it was a bad, a foolish day, right? But in the sense, it's not a foolish day because you're not the same person as you were yesterday. You're just stumbling forward. At least you weren't that person yesterday. So the first technique I want to talk about is the say it in the past tense technique. And I really like this technique and I still use it today, even though I've become the person I've always wanted to become. And I'm still growing. I'm still improving every day. I'm still challenging myself. But I love this technique because it really disconnects your old identity, that old you. In my case, that old Brad. Anxiety sufferers continue to act out their anxious identity every day. They continue to act the same way, talk the same way, and thus they stay in the same hole. They stay in the same chaos. A health anxiety sufferer will constantly check in on their state of health every day. They will Google their symptoms. They will talk about their symptoms, and they will avoid going out to places that will make them feel anxious. So they're strengthening their poor beliefs of being unhealthy, weak, and they strengthen their fears of environments and situations that make them anxious. When you begin to shift the bad habits that make up your anxious identity, you stimulate new neuronal pathways. That's really important to understand. I just released a video on my YouTube channel called 10 Habits of a Health Anxiety Sufferer. And my goal for this video is to get you familiar with the unconscious habits you're doing daily that is contributing to the chaos you're in. That's contributing to your current identity. So go check out that video after, and I hope it'll shine a light on the things that you're unconsciously doing. The more you talk and act that's in alignment with your ideal self, the more further away you move yourself from that old identity. And that's why finding the right role model is crucial. The more you surround yourself with the people you want to be like, the more you're going to absorb their mannerisms, the way they speak, their information, and that's going to unconsciously manifest itself in a way that will change who you are. Because I used to hang around negative friends and I found myself unconsciously manifesting their ways of speaking when I was alone. And I would say, oh, wow, is that my voice or is that really my friend's voice? Because the more you hang around those people, the more you become like them. So it doesn't even have to be in person. You can look up to your role models on YouTube. If you watch your role models every day on YouTube, surround yourself by these people, listen to their podcasts, and you just subject yourself to their information, you unconsciously absorb it. Even if you're having a hard time paying attention, understanding what they're talking about, continue to listen and you will become more like them. This technique, say it in the past tense, creates a gap between you and your old identity. When you begin to say things in past tense, you're going to feel strange. It's not going to feel like you, because so much of you wants to stay in that old anxious identity. So I'm going to give you some examples of how you can use this technique in your day-to-day life. I would say things like, I used to be obsessed over my health. I used to avoid going to work. I used to be a coffee drinker. I used to talk to you about my symptoms. I used to Google my symptoms. I used to lie in bed all day, but now I go out for walks. I used to rely on my family for emotional support. I was socially anxious. And these are useful because when you're recovering from anxiety, your partner will be like, I thought you don't like going out with my friends. And then you will be like, I used to not like going out with my friends, but now I'm enjoying the challenge of company, right? So you're incorporating this past tense technique in your speech every day, and this provides that gap between your old self and the self you are today. You're moving forward. It's a drive. You're pushing yourself towards that ideal you. So the more you put it in past tense, the more you act out your new identity. What you act out and say, it speaks directly to the unconscious mind. The next technique is speaking affirmations out loud. Like I said before, the more you speak and act out the new identity, the more you imprint on the unconscious mind. Saying the affirmations out loud with emotion has a massive impact. Rather than saying it in your head, rather than just listening to it, speak the affirmations. I used to speak these affirmations out loud every day when I was going through my recovery journey. I was working as a camera trainee at the time, working on various film sets when I was going through my recovery. And each day was a challenge because each day was a new location I had to drive to and new experiences. And I was very amateur at the knowledge of the equipment, and there was a lot of anxiety there. But I found that when I spoke affirmations before I started the day, it made a massive impact on my attitude walking onto set. It changed so much. I started to manifest the affirmations I was speaking. And I started to feel different. I started to act differently. I started to become more in the zone because I was living out or acting out or speaking out these affirmations, and the unconscious was like, oh, this is what Brad wants. Oh, this is what Brad believes. And the more I spoke these affirmations, the more it imprinted on my unconscious mind, the more it became a loop. You know how a favorite song or a song on the radio gets stuck in your head and it starts to loop? And it loops and it keeps looping over and over again. And you can't really get it out of your mind. Well, the more you listen to affirmations, the more those affirmations start to loop in your mind. You know, I am powerful. I am strong. And it just comes up because you keep speaking it. The unconscious keeps absorbing it. I would say, I'm powerful. I am courageous. I am confident when I stand. I am confident when I sit. I know and understand my purpose. I can adapt to changes. These are some of the affirmations I would say with an audio track playing in my car via Bluetooth. And there are plenty of affirmation videos on YouTube, and hook it up to your car, hook it up to Bluetooth, and say these affirmations out loud with meaning while you're driving to work or a party or any sort of get together or the shopping mall, wherever you're going. Say and speak these affirmations and make it a daily routine. It's going to help you manifest the affirmations that you speak. You're going to believe, oh, I am confident. I can overcome these challenges. I can do this. I can push through this resistance. And if you are taking the transit, if you don't have a vehicle, spend time in the morning in your quiet space speaking these affirmations, and even do it in front of the mirror. Look at yourself, speak these affirmations, and the more emotion you give towards these affirmations, the more it's going to imprint on your unconscious mind. I also have affirmations on my YouTube channel under the meditations playlist. So you can check out those as well. And there's lots of affirmations on YouTube. Just find the right video that suits you. So practice these techniques every day. It takes 21 days for your unconscious mind to make these habits automated. And do these every day. You will see the difference. And lastly, I just want to say this. Do not let anxiety define who you are. Thank you for being here. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I post videos every week. And check out the Facebook page. I am going to do live videos eventually. So subscribe and follow me on Facebook. And eventually I'll have live Q&A, so you can ask me anything over a live chat. So that's going to be fun. I can't wait for that. And thank you for being here. I will see you on the next podcast episode. Bye for now.
Brad's powerful anxiety recovery program is available at unpluganxiety.com. The Anxiety Project program is downloadable and puts the power of anxiety recovery in your own hands. What are you waiting for? Visit unpluganxiety.com for more details. Recovery starts now.